Hello, my name is Eric, and today we're going to be talking about gun safety. So, I used to be in the United States Navy. I used to work right there at Recruit Training Command in Illinois from 2015 to 2019. We would teach about an hour-long course, and then we would go out onto the firearm range and we would shoot. Take about 3 to 4 hours, and during a typical day, we would go through about 150 to 180 recruits a day. When we were teaching, accuracy was important. We wanted to teach the recruits how to shoot the target effectively, but more importantly, we wanted to teach the recruits how to safely operate a firearm and how not to hurt each other or themselves while shooting the firearms. There's a surprising amount of disinformation that these recruits had when they came to us to learn. I think it's a good representation of the United States because they come from all over the United States, so it gives you like a good sense of what the United States would know about firearms as a whole. While some of these recruits definitely did know their stuff, you could tell some of them were uneducated or they were just taught the wrong thing, which leads to negligence, which could cause accidents. I believe that it's our responsibility in the United States to help each other and teach each other and learn from each other about firearm safety to not cause these accidents. Our Second Amendment right now is being threatened because of all of the deaths that are happening in the United States. All of the accidents and negligence that is going on is threatening our Second Amendment right now. It's our right to own a firearm, and I believe this wholeheartedly, and I think everybody should at least know how to operate a gun, and I don't believe that they should get rid of it. But more importantly, it's our responsibility to own these firearms and to teach each other about using these. The problem is people are getting hurt and killed by these firearms every day in the United States. It's leading up to really high death rates in the United States by firearms and gun-related injuries comparatively to the rest of the world. I think that we need to find a way to teach each other and help each other learn about how to use these firearms in an effective way so we can cut these numbers down drastically. So some of these deaths that stood out to me were in Mike Brassfield of Tampa Bay Times in 2014 reported that a mom and an unborn child died by a firearm accident. Now, I don't believe that it really was an accident. It was more along the lines of like negligence. The person who was operating the gun didn't know it was loaded, or however they shot and they killed the mom and the unborn child in her belly. Now this really hit home for me because my wife is pregnant right now and we're about to have her first child in a couple of weeks. I just thought this story stood out to me a lot, and it's just sad of the way she died. Another one is Jimmy McCloskey of Metro.co in 2015 reported of a child dying by playing with a toy gun. Now, this is surprising in a couple ways. Why is there a firearm being laid out next to a child, unsecured? And second, why is there a firearm and a toy gun in the house in the same place where a child could reach? I think it's gun storage is a huge part of the problem in the United States too, and it's part of gun safety, and learning about how to store your gun could definitely make a huge impact on reducing the deaths like these. And even one of these deaths is just too many in the United States, and they all add up, which in turn leads to Congressional Digest stated in 2017 that 40,000 Americans died to gun-related injuries. Now, if you look at this very split evenly in half pie chart here, it represents the whole world and the amount of gun deaths. And out of the 195 countries, half of them, this dark green one, 189 countries, is 189 countries. That's 50% of the world's gun-related deaths. On the other side is the other 6 countries. The United States is in one of those 6 countries. I think it's embarrassing that we as Americans are in this half because we're a first world country. We're the land of the free. We have rights. We need to protect these rights, and we need to learn from them. NewsRx Health in 2020 reports that uh, owners of firearms are more likely to hurt themselves or each other with them. Well, this might seem kind of like a no-brainer. Usually the counter-argument to stuff like this is that only people who legally possess firearms hurt other people, which simply is not true. Um, I believe a lot of these things come from uneducated and accidents or negligence by owning these firearms. And I think that uh, just because you bought it legally doesn't mean that you're an expert on owning a gun. There needs to be some type of training or education that goes along tying into owning these guns. I think that the impact that we had on smoking could have a similar effect in the way of us purchasing and owning a firearm. What I think a solution is mandatory safety training before you purchase these firearms. Before you actually get the weapon, you're taught how to use it, how to store it. Anything that could be safety related would be taught in these classes. Funk and Wagnall's New World Encyclopedia in 2018 says that Canada requires these mandatory safety trainings before you own the weapons, which I think is an excellent solution. It doesn't give you the opportunity to make mistakes without you knowing. And there's statistics to prove this. Anna Paperney from Global News in 2015 says that you're 70% more likely to die from firearm accidents than you are in Canada from just a car accident. So I think those statistics are pretty strong because not everybody owns a firearm, but almost everybody owns a car and drives it every single day. It just goes to show you that just a little bit of training before you purchase these firearms can stretch out and go a long way, and it could really put a huge dent in our deaths in the United States. And I think we need to look at this and maybe take this into our country. Some other strong statistics from Global News. There's a chart here. All of the red is Canada and the blue is firearms in the United States. So you're 3 times more likely to die from firearms in the United States than you are from ovarian cancer and Parkinson's combined together. You're 42% more higher to die from firearms than you are from prostate cancer in Canada. And you're 10% more likely to die from firearms in the United States than you are from pneumonia in Canada. These are all diseases. So this is something everybody gets. Kind of same with the car thing. Everybody has opportunity to get these diseases, but not everybody owns a gun. And I think these statistics are really strong and can really drive home the point that we need some way to teach each other on how to properly use and store these firearms in the United States. All of these things, they're just too much. Too many deaths by accidents and negligence in the United States with firearms. The United States has to be better at this. We're a first world country. We should be the leaders, and we should be hold ourselves responsible for all these accidents and gun-related injuries. We need to protect our Second Amendment and our constitutional rights. And lastly, I think we need to learn from our neighbors in Canada. I think they have a great way of teaching each other and help each other learn about these things. Only you can prevent gun-related injuries. We can help each other in the United States, and this is the driving point for this whole topic here is we need to learn and we need to help each other learn.